So, my project is about the history of Jews in film, specifically focusing on 3 different Jewish directors: Billy Wilder, Nora Ephron, and Steven Spielberg. This is a timeline that places the 3 directors in the different eras of Jewish portrayal, starting from negative stereotypes that were the beginning of film to every person that is film today. In the earliest decades of film, starting from approximately 1900, Jews were often portrayed in the most stereotypical way: money-stealing invaders with hooked noses and hunchbacks. Here are some images from this film, The Jester's Fight on Hester Street, that came out in 1900, that includes that stereotype in it. Now, starting in 1920, Jews were running some of the most major film companies, including William Fox at Fox and the Warner Brothers, and many, many more. I lost where I was. And they created what they thought was a more gentle Jewish stereotype, which was the Jewish mother and the tailors and peddlers that were in those movies. And I just like this joke: your Jewish mother's cat thinks your dog has schmutz in his eyes. And in 1927, this movie called The Jazz Singer came out, which was the first fully realized Jewish character. He wasn't a stereotype. He wasn't a particularly good character. He wasn't nice, or he was actually really racist, but he wasn't a stereotype, which was really different from what was going on at this time. From the 1930s, Jews faded away from film because from the anti-Semitism that was going on in Europe with the Nazi Party, movie companies thought audiences in America didn't want to see Jews on film. And around this time and a little after it, Billy Wilder was creating films, and Billy Wilder was an Austrian Jew who came to the United States before the start of World War II. He became one of America's most beloved and successful directors. Actors loved him because he listened to them and helped them deliver Oscar-nominated performances. Side note, he helped direct 14 different actors into Oscar-nominated performances, which is a lot. After World War II, Billy Wilder returned to Europe to film a documentary about the devastation after the Holocaust. Ironically, Holocaust deniers point to the fact that a Hollywood director made a movie about the Holocaust as proof that the Holocaust was fiction created by Jews. 2 of Billy Wilder's most famous movies were Some Like It Hot and The Apartment. Neither movie featured Jews as main characters, but the neighbor in the apartment next door was a bit of a Jewish type. And then the 1960s were known as the revolutionary period for film. Many previously ignored groups were making films featuring their identity group. The Graduate, a movie made in 1967, was revolutionary because it marked the first time a Jewish leading actor, Dustin Hoffman, played a romantic lead. When Mike Nichols, the director, teased him about his nose, and Hoffman was worried that he might not be a good fit for this movie, but after that, Jewish actors were accepted into the serious acting community. And around the 80s, Nora Ephron was making movies, such as here is When Harry Met Sally, You've Got Mail, Julie and Julia, and Sleepless in Seattle. She became known as the Queen of Rom-Coms while also writing serious movies like Heartburn, which are about her own life, and the character was played by Meryl Streep. Nora Ephron was born Jewish, and she was raised without religious observance, but her parents were Jewish. When she got to college, Ephron felt that she identified with the other Jewish girls and other Jewish people. They were loud, opinionated, and funny. Even though few of her films have Jewish characters, they all feature really strong and hilarious female leads, which she thinks of as Jewish humor. And there's a quote that she said in an interview in a book called Stars of David by Abigail, whatever that last name is. Okay, so she's just amazing and hilarious. So this works.
Some days when I'm having a hard day, I call up Meryl and she'll come and she'll step in for me. She's so good, people don't really notice. I call her at the end of the day and find out how I did, and inevitably it's one of the best days I've ever had.
That was her talking about in her movie Heartburn. Meryl Streep plays her, and it's a really sad movie. It's about her husband was cheating on her, but somehow Meryl Streep makes it amazing. Okay, and then, Steven Spielberg has been making movies for 51 years, and his most famous films include Jaws, Jurassic Park, and E.T., and he won the Oscar for Best Director 3 times. He was making movies before Nora Ephron, but is still making movies now. Steven Spielberg was raised Orthodox Jewish and made a film and made a film in order to earn his merit badge for the Boy Scouts, his photography badge. His first real film was Firelight when he was 16 years old, just really young. In 1993, Steven Spielberg made Schindler's List, a movie about a man who saved hundreds of Jews during the Holocaust. After years of reflection about his connection to those events and his life as a Jew, he heard stories as a little kid about the Holocaust because he was born right after it, and these efforts were highly appreciated because he got rewarded by audiences and critics. Jews have made a huge mark on the world of film. They've been in the film business forever. There are still many Jewish actors and directors making and starring in films. All these three directors are very good examples of their time period. They each show a very interesting Jewish point of view, but end up making very classic American movies. Thank you for listening.
Well, I just want to express our thanks, first of all, to Gabby Goodman, the wonderful teacher of design class. She's done a great job. And I'd like all the kids to come up and just stand in front of the stage. I think we need another big round of applause. And I just feel especially proud of all of you. It's such a wonderful job. And I really can't wait to the bar bat mitzvah ceremony in May to hear what these kids have to say about their own Jewish identity. So please join us for some light refreshments outside, and thank you again for coming.